Trump Home Mattress Collection by Serta. Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to Room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Where's your
What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. It's an early one this morning, but if you've been in the truther community a long time, or just even a little while, there's still people showing that video right there, that commercial that Trump did years and years ago, before that infamous date. And a lot of people said that was part of that programming. But what if it wasn't? What if it was just by coincidence, which I don't believe in, so it had to, probably foreshadowing these two things, the second one of which I'm fixing to speak of. But I'm not into the whole gematria thing per se. I mean, I look at it here and there with things if I'm led to look up numbers in the Strongs and things like that. That's about the only numerology I get into. But every now and then I do start looking into the gematria things. And in gematria, one of their rules is if a specific number equals, say, 45, then you can add the 4 and the 5 to reduce it down even further. So if Trump is the 45th president, and we can add the 4 and the 5 equals 9. Well, if this goes down today on this full moon on the 6th, I didn't even know about till this morning. Shout out to Doenut Factory for that one. But if he becomes president by default of being the House Speaker or whatever, would he still be counted as the 47th president? And then if he's elected in 2024, would that make him the 48th? I don't know how that works, but ironically enough, if he does become, whether it's, by default of being the House Speaker or whether he is elected in 2024, he will be the 47th president. And we can add those together to get the number 11. So he's the 45th, the 9, and the 47th, the 11. So there's your 9/11 president, right? We also know the correlation and why they use that number, because it talks about in Revelation 9:11 about Abaddon, being released and all that. So that's just mere coincidence for most, I guess. But for me, it's a pattern, just as I spoke about last night. But also another pattern is I had mentioned how the 44th president had that little interview where he was saying he would like to have a third term, but to run it from his basement and be controlling whoever through an earpiece. And we've all assumed that that's what's happening with old Joe, Sleepy Joe, if you want to call him that, which is funny because Trump's associated with keeping people asleep. If y'all remember that parade where he was depicted as Emperor Trump, I can't remember exactly what year, but there was also a float of Trump with a nightcap on and had pillows and all. So he's associated with keeping the people asleep. So I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, what was I saying right before that? Anyway, the 17th letter of the alphabet. I shouted out Doenut Factory's video, and I'm going to put a link in the description because he expounds even on all this that I just talked about yesterday, and he also talked about the patterns, paying attention to these patterns. But, with Obama, controlling from his basement and whatnot. So, Trump posted this yesterday on his website. This is from DonaldTrump.com. President Donald J. Trump announces plan to destroy the drug cartels. Mar-a-Lago, Florida. As Joe Biden prepares to make his first ever trip to the southern border that he deliberately erased, President Trump announced that President Trump announced that when he is president again, It will be the official policy of the United States to take down the drug cartels, just as we took down ISIS. Which is ironic because we know who the cartel's biggest customer is, right? It's no secret anymore. It's the, C dot to the I dot to the A dot, you know what I'm saying? The biggest, and I can attest to this because I've been in that situation where I was making very little money. I was young when I had my first child, and I resorted to pretty much the same thing to make extra money to be able to take care of my kids. So I can understand how Mexico's kind of a third world country and why someone would get involved in that, especially when you got an endless money stream from a governing of the mind body, if you will. And I'm not giving them excuses. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying, these are connections that I'm making. But also, after making this post on his website, my wife shows me this morning on Twitter. And from Joshua Rodriguez, in an action of terrorism, a war has broken out between Mexican defense forces and the Sinaloa cartel and Caliac, I don't know how to pronounce that, in response to the arrest of El Chapo's son, where the cartel has now been shooting at commercial airliners with 50 caliber weapons, some arguing provided by the ATF. And then we have this one from Avia Pro Military News /Media. The Sinaloa cartel gave the Mexican government an ultimatum. If Ovidia, El Chapo's son, is not released within 72 hours, gas stations and government buildings will be burned. The cartel fears Ovidia's extradition to the U.S. And I did not know El Chapo's son was named Ovidia, but I have a video coming soon with Ovid being someone's name biblically. So, is that just mere coincidence that they arrest these guys or these children? Because there's a video out there too that shows that they're very young. There's actually two of them, I believe, in the video, but they look like they're maybe 14 at the most. So Trump puts that out on his website, and the very day that he does, sorry about the glare, the very day that he does, they arrest El Chapo's children. Now it kind of makes me wonder because we can't trust what we've been told, because if you've ever done any research into Gaddafi, and I don't know if you remember that little clip people were playing of Hillary, saying we came, we saw, he died, laughing because they killed this man. But if you ever did your own research and not just listened to what they told you this man was like, he was taking care of his people. He'd give them a house when you're fresh, to be mother and father. They would give you a house to start your family in. They would give you $50,000 cash to start your life. And he was giving people free water, paying people's bills. I mean, Gaddafi wasn't who he was depicted to us to be. So, I don't know the whole story. I don't know El Chapo. I'm sure he is the kingpin, but when you're approached by a governing body and you're told that you're going to have an endless stream of money, and you're able to, and while these people are shooting at commercial airliners and all up in an uproar behind them arresting El Chapo's children, which they got pretty irate when they got El Chapo himself. But this is a whole different story, because El Chapo, according to the people in his area, pays for schooling, pays for food, keeps the infrastructure as far as the roads and communities taken care of. He's built new buildings and community centers. So that's according to the people there, not according to our mainstream. So regardless if he's a kingpin or not, he's been using that advantage to should take care of his own people. That's why they are an uproar about all this, because if they remove those people, his sons who are carrying on his charities, if you will, then they're going to be impoverished all the more. Which is sad because, everybody got behind T-Man whenever he went after Venezuela, and it was kind of the same thing. They were wanting to get these communistic people out of their governments, and then, good old America, as they always have, did the regime change and put their guy in there anyway. So you want to know how these people out of Germany has taken over the world? That's how they do it. And they use us and our military and our brainwashing for us to back them in these endeavors. Which is very, very sad, because I had friends that, I graduated in 2000. I had friends that went straight into the military and went over there after the whole September thing. And when they got back and was hearing the reporting on the news, they were just appalled, because the things that was being told to us to get us mad at these particular people that live over there was all fake and false. They were over there looking for things. They weren't even over there trying to find these terrorists that had supposedly done what they told us they did. Weapons of mass chaos that they never found. All the things that people have been talking about and been ridiculed for, and then, years later have been vindicated. So I just want to put this together for you guys. There was a couple of things I forgot to mention yesterday, but I'm also shouting out and providing the link in the description for Doenut's channel, because he went a little deeper than I'm going right now, simply because I don't have time to sit at my computer. But I do have some videos that I have planned coming up, but I was instructed last night that I need to start providing the scriptures again, because these people with the cognitive dissonance need that. Not just me quoting what the Bible says and not providing the chapter and verse and all that. So now I'm gonna have to get my StreamYard back up and going and start doing some videos at the house on my laptop again. So those are gonna come. It might take me a week or so to get all that straightened out, but I got some mind benders for you guys. If I told you all the things that has came to me and I've been shown and understand now, I'd probably have 0 subscribers, because it's so much that it's hard to process all of these things at once. So it's precept upon precept. I just gotta kind of put them out there slowly, because man, it's completely brain rewiring. And I'm not saying that's my intention, is to rewire your brain. I'm talking about giving you some things to think on and let you do the rewiring yourself. I just want to bring these things to light and you contemplate them, because everything we've been told is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. And it's not just history and politics and all these things, it's religion. So we'll get to that later, man. I love you guys.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,